Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to you, everybody out there. Thank you so much for joining us live. And for those who are watching us later, thank you for joining us. We are here, Transformational Tech, coming to you with another awesome episode. And I'd like to share our topic. Here we are. So another bite-sized PD today, episode 3 of that series, supporting students with accessibility tools in OneNote. But before we begin, let's introduce ourselves. My name is Teresa Castro.
And I am Ricardo Recinos.
And we are both tech docents from Hacienda La Puente Unified School District. And of course, we always have to thank those sponsors we have for allowing us to do this every week. So CTA, our HLPTA, and our ILC, thank you so much for trusting us to share this wonderful wealth of knowledge we have here. So we are going to be going over OneNote today. But Ricardo, I don't know if this is a good time. What is OneNote?
That's a good question. I think the best way that I can describe it, at least for me, is that digital note application that I use to keep everything, my life together. I keep my notes there, my research, my plans, my recipes, my favorite videos. Everything is right there. But I think you have a video, right, that we can kind of use to give an idea to the people out there of what OneNote can actually do for you, right?
Yes, and we were putting this together. We were like, oh, everyone knows what OneNote is, but you know what? That's not true, because just a few months ago, I was probably like, I've heard of it, but I don't know all the things it does. So we're just going to show you a short video. We don't love to show videos during our sessions, but it's only about a minute long, and we think it captures everything that it is that, can do it much better than we can. So we're going to go ahead and share that with you right now. Oops. All right, thank you.
OneNote is your very own digital notebook. Whether you have a million ideas, a million things to do, or a million things to remember, OneNote is the perfect app for capturing pretty much everything. Type notes or record audio at your desktop. Sketch or write ideas on a tablet. Or add a picture from your phone. And because all your notes are in the cloud, OneNote lets you switch devices and pick up where you left off. And once you've captured everything with OneNote, you can organize it however you want. Freely move notes around the page, organize those pages into sections, and keep your sections in one or more notebooks. OneNote can capture it all and help you find it instantly later. OneNote is as structured or as unstructured as you want it to be. You can even share your notebooks with others, so you can all view and contribute at the same time, turning a few isolated notes into a resounding symphony. Learn how to use OneNote to capture, organize, and share everything that matters to you at office.com/training.
All right, so we hope you have an idea of OneNote is, and I think, once you start getting to use it, you realize how useful it is. Ricardo said the word recipes because that's what got me hooked. I said, why am I going to transfer to OneNote? He's like, you can gather all this great stuff, with all these different devices all in one place. And I was like, recipes.
And I think today we're going to kind of focus with the lens of accessibility. Eventually, as we have decided to continue with OneNote, we are going to talk about how it does a lot more, how it can be a class notebooks for our teachers, for our students and our teachers, right? How you can push stuff to our students, how you can grade, how you can do a million things that you might not know. So we are going to touch that eventually. At the end, we'll show you what it looks like, but we won't go into those details. I think we're sticking with accessibility, right?
Absolutely. So we are in OneNote through the lens of accessibility. So the purpose of our bite-sized PDs are to dive more deeply into our favorite tech tools instead of going over several tools. We kind of stick to one and go really deep so you can see all the awesome things that it does. So the accessibility tools that we're going to do in OneNote are Dictate, Voice Record, Math Assistant, Immersive Reader, Live Captions, and some extra freebies in there that we might encounter if we have time. And of course, we don't expect you to throw out anything you're doing, and please don't feel limited to what is shared today, as always.
Perfect.
Yes. All right. So, we want to give credit to, Ricardo, let's tell them a little bit about where you came from about a week ago. And
where I came from, should I tell my whole life?
Where did you go? Right now? Yes. Tell your life story.
Yeah. I was lucky enough to spend 2 days with an amazing group of educators. I was lucky enough to go to the Microsoft MIEE expert learning, and it was incredible to spend 2 days there with amazing educators. I got the chance to go to different sessions at our learning exchange, and one of them had to do with accessibility, something that we've done before with the immersive reader, Microsoft Translate, and other tools. We're sticking with OneNote, but when I was there was this amazing resource that was shared by Kathleen Lacey and Erin Holland, and I think we wanted to bring that in today, right?
Absolutely. So, those of you who are maybe MIEs, which I'm an MIE, but I'm not an MIE. So where Ricardo got to attend with these amazing
Microsoft
educators.
Innovative Educator, and then if you had the E, expert, right?
Expert. Yeah, I don't have enough E's on mine, but luckily he learned so much, and therefore we get to learn so much. So thank you for sharing this with us, Ricardo. But of course, we have to give credit here to Kathleen and Erin, who shared this during their session. So the accessibility features we'll share are not just for people with disabilities. So we talked about that, right? We know this is so important for those who need these extra supports, but it's not just for them. Everyone benefits from these. These tools offer the ability to customize technology to best suit one's learning position. So even if we have students who don't necessarily need these, they benefit them just knowing how to use them. So let's go ahead and continue.
Yeah, think about closed captions, right? Like I usually don't need them, but when I'm watching Netflix, they have to be on. They just have to be on. Like, I love to have them be able to read them. It's just, gets me more into the movie.
Sometimes when people see our topic of accessibility, they're thinking, well, I'm not a special ed teacher. I don't need to know that. But you know what? It's for all teachers. All teachers, not just special ed teachers, should learn instructional strategies that support students with learning differences. And this is disability. This is any differences. So it is for everybody.
Yeah, and I think we always also say that the tools that we show you are a form of support. They're not a solution, but they're a form of support for our students.
Right. Okay, so the curb cut effect. So if you've heard of, I can barely see, it says, so let's learn about what the curb cut effect is. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Oh, so it says right here, the curb cut effect. When we design for disabilities, we make things better for everyone. So have you noticed when you go to a parking lot or you see places where there are curbs, and my husband is an engineer, and so they go and they make sure to make things accessible for those with wheelchairs and with walkers. But who else uses those, Ricardo?
Let's think about someone on a bike, right? Someone on a skateboard, right? Someone with a stroller, right?
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, even when I have my newborn son, and when I push that stroller, I look for those accessible areas that I can use the stroller for your shopping carts and things like that. So everyone benefits when you use these tools. So that's not just for out there, but figurative, but also literal as well. So let's continue. Okay, the fight for curb cuts was championed by and for people with disabilities, but its effects were broader. So everyone benefited. People pushing strollers, luggage, move more easily through the city. So did skateboarders and elderly people as well. Okay, I can barely see that. When the walls of exclusion come tumbling down, everyone benefits. And that is true in so many things in education, in this life, but in our episode today. When we create the circumstances that allow those who have been left behind to participate and contribute fully, everyone wins. Understanding the community-wide benefits of any innovation specifically designed to achieve equity for an undeserved group. So all these great quotes and the reasons why, we always have to go to why are we doing this episode? Why? And not just is it cool, but thank you so much for the likes and the hearts out there. We appreciate it, everybody. So, why are we doing this? Why is this important to us and to our students? Okay. Some disabilities look like this and some look like this. This really hits home for me. Ricardo, do you want to say anything about this one?
Yeah, I think I always tell the story, right, about my daughter, right? If you look at her, 11-year-old girl, very outgoing, happy, right? But there are some issues that she has that you probably will never know unless you really dig in and you go in depth of what's going on, right? And some of the tools that we're going to share today have been just so amazing to support her when it comes with her educational experience. And yeah, my daughter looks like this, but you might not know that some of the tools that we're sharing today support her every day. Yeah,
absolutely. And, we don't wait for the IEPs and we don't wait for things like that to provide support to our students. We make sure to make these accessible so that everyone can benefit, regardless if we have those official paperwork, official things. We want to make sure to be able to use these with everybody. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So reason for using assistive tools: situational impairment, a difficulty accessing accessing due to the context or situation one is in. So glasses, a broken bone, illness, things like that will be, that's why we use our assistive tools.
Yeah, and sometimes, it's a preference, right? I don't need the voice typing, but how many times do I see you, Teresa? I don't do it, but I see on your phone and you automatically are sending messages left and right with your voice. You don't need it, but it's a preference, right? Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So preference sometimes too. Yeah. And as always, we, as we prepare for the shows, we watch a lot of videos by Mike. So we wanted to say thank you to him again. If you don't know him, he's amazing and he's everywhere.
Yes.
Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, you'll find him everywhere. So thank you, Mike, again for all
we
of the
watch
resources.
his videos repeatedly, but not just that. He communicates with us and allows us to use material that he's created. And so we're so thankful for that heart of sharing and service. So thank you so much. Okay. So we're going to be going over a lot of things, but here's a picture right here. Our pupils are pretty much without exception hate. Our pupils all pretty much without exception hate writing. The learning tools transformed writing for our pupils. Have you ever been in a class where you have those students who they hate writing? They hate it, and they hate it from the beginning, and they never improve because they don't like to practice. And it's just, you have those kids who just hate writing for different reasons, but these tools hopefully will help. So this is a story planning sheet for an 11-year-old girl. So there's
this could be my daughter, 11 years old. Honestly,
and this could be me, actually. This could be me when I was younger.
And this is what it looks like. And then now what she produces when we use OneNote.
Absolutely. Because what is the purpose of your writing? We're trying to get ideas across. We're trying to maybe show mastery in a certain content or something. But if you struggle with writing, you can't share your thoughts because you already are limited by your ability to write. But look at this. With these tools here, they're able to share their expressions, share their thoughts, even though they do have difficulty with writing. So very cool. And look at this one. Oh, this is me totally. 7th grader before and after with dictate.
You've seen my handwriting. This is definitely me. Actually, I think that's my handwriting, actually.
It could be, actually. That's true. I've been in a room with students, and sometimes I'll try my best. Teachers are really great at deciphering student writing, but sometimes I'll have to ask them, can you please read this to me? I can't seem to figure it out. And so the student can take their writing. They know what they want to say. They know what their writing says, and they can say it with dictate, and then it comes out into this beautiful piece of writing. And we know writing is important. We know you have to work on all those skills. But if the intention of the assignment is for mastery or to hear their story, then we should give them other tools as well, in addition to the writing.
Yeah, you are empowering their voice, form of support.
Yes, for sure. All right, so very briefly, here are things we're going to go over. So in OneNote, these are great tools, but we're going to talk about them specifically in OneNote today. So we're going to talk about dictate, like we already kind of mentioned earlier, voice record. And I was like, Ricardo, what's the difference? But you'll see in a minute. Immersive reader, which we've already done many times, but in Mono, it's a little bit different. So we'll show you that as well. And live captions too, which we showed you that too. But if you thought you knew, you have no idea. You want to see it in OneNote. It's pretty amazing. So we're going to be going over that.
And if you have never seen Math Assistant in OneNote, it's going to blow your mind.
I'll be honest, Ricardo, when you showed me Math Assistant at first, I was like, I don't know about that. I'm kind of scared. The kids will just get all these answers. But no, he showed me so many things. It's just such a wonderful tool. So
and remember, when you unleash the power of class notebooks and OneNote, you have the ability to turn it off. Just wanted to say that, and eventually we'll cover that.
You're in full control.
Okay, so you want to go ahead and get started?
Sure.
Okay, so go ahead, and I think you're going to share your screen, right?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and go there. Go ahead.
Okay, so here I am in OneNote. Ricardo, is that big enough? Do you want me to make it bigger, or we're good?
That's good enough, I think.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I have lots of different ones, but I'm going to use this one. So I'm right here, and we're going to be talking about dictate and voice record. So if I go home.
Oh, and can I mention something, Teresa?
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
For the most part, we're going to stay on the online version, Office 365, and you'll see sometimes, and we'll let you know that we're going actually onto the app that gives you a lot more robust features. But yes, right now we're staying with Office 365. Yeah.
Absolutely. So thank you for saying that, Ricardo, because if I were to try this with our recording later, I'd be like, wait, I don't see that. So we'll make sure to let you know when we're on the app and when we're on the online, the Office 365 version. Okay, so I'm on the app. I mean, not that. I'm on the online version right now. And so here I am, and we want to show you dictate And so I went to home, this little tab up here, and here I am. It's a microphone all the way over here on the right. I'm going to click dictate, and it's simply, it's just telling your story, and it's going to, let me go ahead and tell my cursor where to go. There it is. This is such an amazing tool. Oops. Ricardo, it didn't work. Let me do it again. One more time.
Mm-hmm.
This is such, oops. Why does that keep popping up?
Is it reading your microphone maybe?
I don't know, maybe. Sorry, everybody. Technical difficulties. We practiced this, but I'm not sure. Let's try it again. So everybody, I hope this actually works for us today. I'm not quite sure why it's not picking up right now, but I'm going to go ahead and stop. So as always, technology is perfect. And so what should have happened is I click this dictate, and then I would start talking, and then it would record my voice down here. Ricardo, is there any reason why this might not be working?
Let me see. Let's try mine right now.
Let's try his. I really want you to see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me go ahead and go home. Right.
Oh, I know. I think my share is muted. That might.
Is that what it is? Let me go to dictate right now. And let's go ahead and try it again. Let's see what's going on with it. Okay, so I'm going to turn it on. Testing, 1, 2, testing. So hopefully it should be showing it right now. And I'm not sure why it's not doing it for me too in here. Interesting. Notice how it's moving over here? I think it's thinking and it's coming out right now.
That's so strange.
You know what? Let's go ahead.
I'm going to try it on another browser just to see if that works. Sorry, everybody. I know I just really, really want to show it like so badly. So give me 1 second. If it doesn't work, I'm just going to move on. I promise. I just don't want you to miss out on this because it's pretty amazing. So I'm going to try it one more time. Mr. Rusinos is going to kill me right now.
No, go ahead. I also had issues.
Yeah, it was both of us. Okay, so let's give it a second. All right. So what are some reasons we would use to say? Ricardo kind of called me out in front of everybody. I love to use voice typing because sometimes I'm in a hurry, or I just need to get to somewhere really fast, and I just love to say things, and it types it out for me. So that's why we would use this. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and unmute myself. Ricardo,
and I just wanted to say that, you know what, Teresa, it did show up for me right now, but go ahead and try it again. It is working. Notice that is what I said. Go ahead.
All right, here we go. So cross our fingers, everybody. I'm going to press dictate. And then it's listening. And right now we are going to see if it picks up what I am trying to say. And I'm going to stop recording. And it didn't do it for me, Ricardo. Okay, I think you're probably going to have to show that for the next one. But it did work for Ricardo when he came through. I'm not quite sure why it's lagging on me right now. All right. Ricardo, do you want me to move on to the next one?
Yeah, sure. It's really interesting that it's not doing it for us, right? Just one more time. Last time. We're going to give it one more try. And there it is. And notice that as I talk, it's picking it up. It was doing it right now as I was talking. And notice how I am talking, and it's actually just writing exactly what I'm saying right now. Okay?
Yes.
Interesting, right? So I stopped it right now. What we wanted to make sure that you knew too, though, that over here next to the microphone, you have some settings in here, okay? And it could have been issues with the microphone, obviously. And notice that my microphone is something different. That's why it's working probably, Teresa, because your StreamYard is taking the other microphone. Yeah. But I wanted to make sure that you also have the ability to switch languages if you wanted to, okay? So let me pick a different language, and let me pick Spanish right now, okay? And I'm going to, you also have the ability to enable auto punctuation and also filter sensitive phrases, which is really, really important, we think. So that's turned on by default. But let me save it now. Okay. And now, si yo abro el micrófono y empiezo a hablar otra vez, se van a dar cuenta que reconoce el lenguaje. So notice that it's actually doing it in the language that I chose right now. The accent marks are there, and it knows exactly that I'm speaking Spanish. So it is working. I think we're just having problems with the microphone probably, Teresa. But I think it is working, yeah.
Yeah. So, you might wonder, why would I use this? Just think of your students who maybe have difficulty with writing, but you want them to tell a story or describe an object or whatever prompt you have. Then they could say it out loud, and then it could write it for them. And it comes out to a beautiful piece. And students love seeing their speech come out on a paper or on the screen. So that's just a very easy way for them to describe what it is you need for an ending product or something like that. Okay. All right. So let's move on. The next one is voice record. And Ricardo, I have a feeling since I'm having an issue that I'm
Yeah, let's
also
go ahead
going to
and
have an
try it. And if
issue.
it doesn't work, I'll see if I can show it.
I'm sorry, but my mic is being used by StreamYard, so I think it's not allowing. But I'm going to try my best again. We don't give up. So I'm going to go ahead and go to audio. I went to insert. That's where I am. I'm on the web version. So I'm on insert. I go to audio right here because I want to record audio. I click on that and it's going to record an audio clip. So I'm going to cross my fingers. So I'm speaking right now and hoping that it is recording everything that I am saying. And when I'm done, I can go ahead and press stop. And then the audio clip gets put into this page right here. So whenever I'm ready to hear it, I can play it and listen to it later. So maybe you want a student to actually say something, you're working on their speech, then you can actually, let me see. Oops, I have it off. Play. It recorded my time, but not my actual, it didn't record the sound, probably because of my mic, like what we said, Ricardo.
Sure.
But anyway,
you want to go ahead and see if I can kind of try it?
Yeah, go ahead and try it. And after that, show them what else it could do. Too.
Yeah, so Teresa actually went to insert, right? So we were talking about how I would use this, okay? So maybe the way I will use it is I am in my class and my professor or my teacher is doing a lecture and I'm listening and I just want to make sure that I have, an audio file of what he's saying. I can actually click on here and they'll start listening and they'll start recording what they are saying. So it's doing that right now, as you notice over here. And then I'm going to stop it right now, okay? So we'll go ahead and stop it. And if I wanted to play it, hopefully it will play for you. Let's go ahead and stop it. It's actually recognizing it right now. So there it is here. And they'll start listening and they'll start recording what they are saying. So you can hear it, right? Exactly, right? So it's amazing to have that for the teacher that is lecturing and you want to capture what they're saying. But, as we mentioned before, if you decide to use the desktop app, it is a lot more robust. And I'm going to open it right now. Okay.
So as he's opening that, I didn't think of the way he used it. I was thinking of your students saying something, but it's true. If you want to listen to someone else doing a lecture and you want to capture it, that's an amazing way to use that tool as well.
So I'm going to go to insert right now. And again, I'm in the app now that I just basically decided to go to my Microsoft OneNote and say, now work on the app. And I'm here. And what I love about it here, okay, that I'm going to do the same thing, okay? So think about me. I'm in my organic chemistry class, which is the one that I had the most trouble with when I was in college. And I'm listening to my professor do his lecture, okay? So he is talking and doing his lecture and he's talking about, let's go ahead and click on it. And he's talking about molecular biology and he just continues to talk about things that I probably need to go back and study. And I say, make sure to go back and review that. And he keeps talking about it and he's going on and on and on. And he talks about something that is really important. I can say, you know what, that's going to be in the test. So make sure you review that, okay? So as he's continuing to talk, I kind of can keep notes of what's important and what's not, okay? So I'm going to stop it. And what I want you to see is that when I did that, if I go back and play it, hopefully you can hear it. Let's go ahead and click on it. And he's talking about probably playing. Is it playing? And he just
yes, it is.
And you're going to see that it's actually going to highlight when I said, make sure you study that. See that? How I highlighted that part? And when I said, oh, that's going to be in the test. It's going to highlight it right there too in a second.
You know what? That's going to be in the test.
So it'll know exactly where you were, right? You also have the ability to automatically go to that part. So you come later to review your notes and you said, oh yeah, make sure you go back to that. I can go there and automatically takes me to that section right there. So it's pretty incredible to have the ability to do this right here, okay? Again, if you have noticed with the app, you also have the ability to record video, which I think is very powerful. We learned how powerful video is during the pandemic. So I can come in here. Hopefully it will pick up a different camera and let me open yeah, exactly. I have too many cameras open right now probably, right? Going on, but you will be able to actually click on it and be able to select a camera or we'll select your camera. We're using a StreamYard right now, but you will be able to use video right there with that too. Okay.
So, I didn't think of that application, but that is amazing. You're recording your professor and they say something, you're like, oh, I know that's going to be on the test. And you type that in and it kind of bookmark it. So you don't remember when we used to use cassettes and we have to fast forward, rewind, try to find that, like, oh, what's that thing that he said? Oh, I can't find it. And you don't have to do that. You pretty much made a bookmark like what Ricardo just did. He said, this is really important. And then when you click on it, it'll bring you to the exact point where he actually typed that in. So it's just, blown away that you could do this on the app. You can't do this on the web version, but something really cool that was
Pretty
shared.
amazing.
So thank you, Ricardo, and thank you, Mike, for sharing that with us. All right, so are we moving on? Okay, so thank you, Ricardo. So we're going to move on right now to Immersive Reader. And we have talked about Immersive Reader many, many, many times in many, many places. And we love it so much. And even today, we saw students learning about it. And we saw parents finally introducing it to parents. It's like, wow, why didn't we know about this? We could have used this to support our students. So excited to continue to talk about it. Okay, so here we are, Immersive Reader inside of OneNote. And where you find it is you go to View at the top. And I never remember where things are. I just click around. But you go to View, and the very first thing is Immersive Reader. So here I am. This is an article that I found online, and I'm just going to simply click on Immersive Reader. So those of you who don't know what Immersive Reader is, it takes any text and it turns it in. It gives you some options to help you read more optimally what you prefer. Okay. So here I am. It was the exact same text, but if you notice, it looks different. It looks a little bit different, and it's all there if I go through it. But we have a few options. So at the very bottom, we have this. I'm going to go ahead and unmute my screen, Ricardo, if you don't mind. We can go ahead and play it.
It's a question that looms as large as any other in the education world.
So if you have some struggling readers, and of course we know we want our readers to continue to grow and practice, but maybe the purpose of this assignment is to be able to understand the content. So maybe after trying to read it, then you can have them play it so they could really understand what it was about, so that they could finish whatever you require of them. But what's great is next to the voice, you also have these different settings. You can do different speed. You can have them talk a lot faster, slower if you need to, female, male, whatever helps you understand better. I'm going to go and close that. And very up here, I'm not going to go through this very long because we have long videos about this. So text preferences. So you can do different text sizes. We saw some of our students have the text size really, really big, and it helped them to see it better. And you can make it smaller too. So, I mean, we think of students, but also anybody, right? My mom would have loved this. It would have helped her so much when she was online if she could adjust the text size. Okay, you can increase spacing. You can see my lines are as far apart. You can put it close together. For some students, this is really overwhelming. They might see this and go, no, I don't even want to try to read that. That's too hard for me. And just changing the spacing can help them, relieve that apprehension, right? So different fonts, we have Calibri, we have Sitka, Comic Sans, and, we have studies on Sitka being the easiest one to read, but it's really up to the reader, right?
And for our dyslexic students, right? I mean, it's just huge. Yes.
Absolutely. And then we have our themes. Thank you so much for the support, everybody. We see it coming in. We promise we see you. Okay, so the different themes. And again, like Ricardo said, I don't need to have it in this color, but if it helps me, if it relaxes me to read a little bit longer with a little bit more endurance, why not? I know Ricardo loves to read in blue, and I would hate that because it's really hard for me to see things in blue. I have no idea why. Okay, so they can go through more colors. There's so many more here. My daughter loves to read in pink. I'm not sure why, but she loves pink. I don't know if it helps her. She just wants to use it. But so many preferences. So I'm going to continue. Sorry, Ricardo, I know I'm taking too long.
No, take your time.
Can I take the pink off? All right, no, I'm not putting in blue. Parts of speech here. So think of our students who are learning parts of speech. Maybe you want them to spice up their learning, spice up their writing. We want them to write with more adjectives and things like this, but they need to be able to find their nouns before they do that. Or maybe we're talking about our language learners as well. So I'm going to go ahead and we can tell you what the nouns are. You can choose different colors, your verbs, adjectives, adverbs. We can show the labels so that we can see them above. We can also use syllables too. So maybe syllables helps them in their reading or helps them in their comprehension, whatever they need. These are things that can be so easily done with simple clicks of your button, right? Okay, so let me continue. Reading preference. So line focus. I remember in elementary school, I used to buy those little plastic rulers to help my students stay focused into one line at a time. But watch this. I don't need that ruler anymore. Because I could simply just do this and go through it. And then the kids can just read line by line without getting distracted. Ricardo, have you seen this before? Has this worked for you before?
Yes.
I know you have a story about it.
When we talk about this kind of tools, and I change your screen sharing right now, I wanted to see this. This is Tony Ray had to read this for her class, and she was having so much trouble. And we put it in OneNote, and we turned it into immersive reader, and she was able to do it because we provided that tool for her. So I had to say that, this is actually something that we use. Yeah.
And this is amazing because you're teaching this to your students, but they're not just going to use it with you. They're going to use it from here on out. They'll use it next year. They'll use it when they're out there in the world trying to read articles on the internet. You are giving them lifelong tools that can help them. And they can help themselves. They don't need to raise their hand and say, teacher, I need that ruler to help me read this line. You are giving them the tools to help themselves, which is so powerful. Again, so different line focus right here. You can also turn the picture dictionary on so you can go to your different nouns and, it'll show you the pictures there. And this one is a really powerful one. I know, especially to Ricardo here, translate. And when we showed this to our parents today, we were in a parent meeting today. Oh my goodness. This was for students. We were telling them, oh, this is what the students can use. But look at, when we showed them that they could go, let me take out the line focus. When we told them they could choose their language, so I'm going to go ahead and find Spanish since that's easier for us. Can I choose any of them?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. All right, here we go. By word or by document. You could take your whole entire document and then look at right here. Everything changed. And at the very top, you can simply go back to the English and go back and forth to the Spanish. And our parents were like, oh, they were amazed because they thought of how their students could use it, but they thought of how they could use it. So this is not just for students.
Yeah, I know I always mentioned that, my mother never felt like she was part of my educational experience. And that's what these parents felt like today. I can actually read this and I can help my student as they're doing their homework and they're trying to check for understanding, because language is language, right? I can read it in Spanish and I know what the story is about, and I can help the kids or my student or my daughter or my son with their homework and with their work. And those parents were just so happy today.
Yeah, you have those kids struggling with their reading, with their comprehension, and now the parents can say, okay, let's translate it to Spanish and let me help you out a little bit. So that was a very touching part of our day today.
And he will read it to you too, right? Teresa, in that accent too, right?
Yeah,
In the
so I'm going to go ahead and I'll go back to Spanish right now, and then I'm going to let it, oops, those are the pictures that I'm talking about. Look, pruebas and tests. Okay, so let me just play.
Pruebas estandarizadas, las escuelas charter y otros temas de debate vigoroso.
And again, all the different settings you want to use as well, but in that different language. So amazing. Okay, so let me go ahead and go back. Oops, was I here? Is this where I was? No, I was over here. Oh, just kidding. This is the same spot we were practicing earlier, and he's like, press the arrow, Teresa. I was like, no.
And as we talk about immersive reader, which is such a powerful tool, I wanted to make sure that we also cover, and let me see, maybe I can share my screen a little bit different right now.
Sure.
Let me, you're gonna have to reshare again. Let me reshare again, Teresa, because I want to show it this way, okay? So I want to show a window, and I just want to show my phone right now. But, we talk about, what about something that is not digital? What about a book that is not, it's on print only, right? And how do we help our students? I mean, we wanted to make sure, I know we're talking about OneNote, but there's an amazing tool that is called Lens, or Office Lens, okay, that I'm going to go in here. You can download it for iOS or Android. But the point of showing you this is that I'm going to open Office Lens, okay? And I could use Immersive Reader in here if I wanted to, but I'm just going to go ahead and take this book and take a picture of it, okay? I'm just going to take a picture of it right here, okay? And that looks fine to me. There's my picture. I'm okay with that. I'm going to confirm. So I'm using Office Lens, okay? And I'm going to say that looks perfect. Let's go ahead and move on. Done. And then what I'm going to do is that I'm actually going to send it to my OneNote. Notice that I have the ability right here to send it to my OneNote right here. I have it set up already right there. And I'm going to say, you know what? Yes, I could do Immersive Reader here if I wanted to. Okay. But I want it in my OneNote because maybe I want to be able to write notes. Maybe I want to be able to highlight things and so on and so on. So I'm going to go and save that right now. Okay. So I'm saving it. Okay. I'm going to get rid of my phone right now. Let's just get rid of the phone right now. Let me go ahead and share my other screen right now so you can see that. So stop sharing that. Let me go ahead and present again. And let me go ahead and share my entire screen just so you can see this, okay? So here I am. I'm on my OneNote. I'm just going to refresh my OneNote, okay? Just so you can see what's going on, okay? So remember I took my Office Lens and I sent that picture over here. Let's look for it. Let's give it a second. Notice what happened, okay?
Wow.
Automatically I'll have that picture right here. But not only that, I can go to view now and I have the ability to take this into Immersive Reader. So if I click on this right now, that hard copy is going not to be available for me in Immersive Reader. I'm able to take this, right? paper,
And make it
right?
accessible.
And make it accessible to our students, right? I have the same tools that Teresa talked about over here. It's just pretty amazing. And we're like, oh my God, that is incredible, right? That's amazing. And then we noticed that if we went into the desktop app, and I'm just going to do it really quick, okay?
Sure.
Hopefully it works for us. Let's go ahead and bring it in really quick. So I'm going to bring it back in. Okay. I actually have the ability to come in here, click, and I want you to see what's going to happen. I can say over here, copy text from picture. I'm going to click this, okay? And I want you to see what happened in a second, okay? Let's give it a second. You do it right now. Okay. Check this out.
Wow.
I took that picture and now I have it right here available for me. Okay.
Gone are the days when PDFs and pictures were off limits when it came, when we got a picture, we're like, oh, now I have to retype it. I have to look at it and type it. But no, you don't have to do that anymore. You can simply use this and capture
it's
all the
amazing.
words
Like,
in
I
there.
think hopefully we'll try it right now. I can actually search on that picture. Notice I'm looking for Charlie. Notice what it did. It found wherever Charlie was in here on both my text and also right inside of the picture. Amazing. It is incredible, right? Talk about accessibility. One more and then we'll stop with this one. We'll move on. I can take this picture that I took and I can set it as a background. And when I do that, now I have the ability to come in here and draw on top of it, add notes and so on and so on because I set it as a background in my OneNote. Just wanted to show that. Pretty incredible, actually. Okay.
It sort of changed my life in college. I'm just saying.
Right?
All these things in one place.
I agree, right? So that's pretty incredible.
I love it.
So that was Immersive Reader inside of OneNote, and we showed a little bit of other things in there. Okay.
Perfect. And here I am back on OneNote as well. And before we leave this page, we wanted to show you how to check accessibility because we want to make sure all of our things that we have for our students are accessible to, maybe students with screen readers and things like that. And so there are some things that we can do to make it easier for them. But if you don't know, you don't know, and you can't fix what you don't know. So there's a great tool here called Check Accessibility, or in other places it's called Accessibility Checker. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that and show you what happens. So here I have this piece. Maybe it was something I wrote, maybe it's something I found online. It's up to you. So I'm going to go ahead and check accessibility. And then it tells me over here what my errors are. So I have two images in here that have no alternative text. So if I had a student who had a screen reader, so let me go ahead and click it. Oops, you can't see it. But if I click it, what it's doing is highlighting the pictures that don't have any alternative text. And if you don't know what alternative text is, it's telling you what is in the picture, so that students with screen readers who maybe can't see what this picture is, it tells them this is a picture of blank. And so that as they go through, because pictures are so powerful, pictures are there for a reason when we read articles and things like that. And it's very important that they know what those pictures are because it helps them to comprehend. So that's why we want to make sure when we have images that we provide alternative text so that those people who can't see are able to understand what it is there. Okay. So here's another one, a no friendly hyperlink. So down here, you could see it highlighted it for me. So google.com, which seems pretty amazing. But if you know, when you get any website links, sometimes it's AB23// blah, blah, blah. And it's really, and that's what it is. And a screen reader will read that. And we don't want that. We want them to know what this link is. So a best practice would be explaining what it is. This is a link that goes to Google where you can find information that you need and then put your hyperlink if you need to. So non-friendly hyperlink, just putting the straight link in there will not help those who might be using readers and things. So anyways, like I said, things that you might not know, and simply just check accessibility, find it and fix it. So I would go here and I would change google.com and I would say Google where you can find, give more description that is necessary. Okay. So there are a lot more, but those are just the two that I caught on this one right here. Okay. Is there anything else there, Ricardo, that you wanted me to show?
No, I think that was it when it comes to the accessibility checker right now, for now.
Perfect. Okay. So this next one is live captions. So anyways, Ricardo, I think you can talk about this one because we're going to show them right now.
Oh, I think it's one of our favorite options. So think about that student, and we can think about it two ways, right? The student that might want to be able, probably wants to be able to have a transcript of what the teacher is saying. So they just want the captions from English to English. But how about that student that, as we talk about immersive reader, maybe need to support the teacher speaking in English, but they want to be able to see what is being said in Spanish or in their language of choice, right? So live captions will allow you to do this, okay? And then it's very, very simple. So I, as the teacher, will provide a code to my student that I'm using with Microsoft Translate. And the student basically will click on live captions, which is where Teresa is at right now, right?
Yes. Okay. So here I am right now. I'm on view. And then I go, so let's say I'm taking notes, like what Ricardo said, I'm in a class, I'm taking notes right now. And then I can go to live captions. And then I'm going to take that code that Ricardo was, let me see, let me let it load. There you go. So I'm going to go ahead and enter that code. And then, Ricardo, I'm going to do it in English. Or did you want me to, actually, I'm going to start with English because I just want to be able to have a record of what he is saying in his lecture. So just another way to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and join.
Okay, so she is there right now. I, as the teacher, is just basically going to go ahead and start speaking, and maybe I am doing my lecture for today, and the student is kind of following along, and hopefully we're going to be able to see it right now. It should be showing up right now.
There it is. It's starting to come out. Okay, so it's usually in real time, but I think my internet might be lagging.
Yeah, it might be your internet that is doing that, right? But it should be in real time, and I think it's going now.
There it is.
As I am speaking, notice the captions coming in right there, right? And we're just going to talk about some of the stuff that she can do as I am talking. And I'll mute myself and continue talking so she can show you that, okay? So I'll mute it, and then, but I'll still keep talking so she can.
So you could see that, he's continuing talking. He muted himself so you don't hear him, but he's actually still talking right now. And so I can highlight. So if I hear something that's important, I can go ahead and highlight that. I can change my size of font. So I'm taking notes. It's recording him. But at the same time, this is in English. Maybe I'm a language learner, so I want to see it in English. But maybe, you know what? I want to see it in my own language as well. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the settings down here. And I can change it to, let's just say, he's still speaking in English right now. You guys don't hear him, but he is, I promise. And I'm going to go ahead and change to Spanish. And let's see what happens. So once I change it to Spanish, you can see he's still speaking, but now he's speaking English and I'm seeing it in Spanish. Very, very powerful. You can change, and you can go ahead and you can highlight it as well. I'm just going to highlight this really quick. Ricardo, don't stop, keep going. So lots of things that you can do. Ooh, that highlighted too much. Okay, so I could pause it if I want. So it's still recording him, but it's pausing it so I could read it more carefully. And when I press resume, it captures everything that I missed. It doesn't miss anything just because I paused it. Okay, so very cool, very, very useful. And I'm going to go ahead and let him unmute, and I'm going to show you what else you can do. Were you still talking?
No, I wasn't, but I think that went really well.
Okay, so I have these live captions. Like, well, what do I do with it now? Well, you know what? I didn't have to move it anywhere. Eventually, they end up right here. A new section is created. Sections right here, transcripts. And it takes the different transcripts. And you can see this one was from earlier when we were practicing, but look at this one now. So hopefully that loads, and it shows you this entire transcript of what he was saying. So if I was attending a lecture or a meeting of some sort, and I'm just, I want to make sure not to miss anything, I could simply just turn this on and let it go. And then I will have this entire transcript of what was said during that meeting or during that lecture. Anything I'm missing there, Ricardo?
No, we were talking about how to use this, right? And we were talking about maybe that English language learner. Do we want them to completely switch it to Spanish? And we decided, you know what? Maybe they want to practice English and they want to leave it as a caption in English. And we discovered that they could still do that. And if they went and opened this with the app, they have the ability to use the translate button, right? And OneNote, so they can switch it to whatever language of choice they want to, right? So they kept it in English, but at the same time, they still have the ability to switch it to Spanish with that little translate button. If you want to show, Teresa, I don't know if you want to show that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you do that again?
So if you went to editing, right? If you went to edit on the top right.
Right here. Okay.
Yeah, and then open on the app.
Oh, there we go.
Right, so maybe they can, then let's go ahead and just open it. So let's say that they just kept it in English, right? They didn't switch it, right? So hopefully Teresa's going to bring that in, and notice that they have that translate button right on top right there, right? So if they needed that extra support, like, no, I really need to see it in my own language, it's right there next to, it's on top next to, it says translate. Yeah, you see it right there?
Right here.
Yeah, right there.
Sorry, it changed in such a big screen. Okay, so translate. Can I do, okay, I'm going to do selected text. Can I select it first?
You can, yeah, and then
Or
go ahead and, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, translate. Choose translation language. So
Hopefully your internet is fast enough that it's going to allow you to do it. There you go.
So Spanish was detected, and then here it is in English. So now I could see exactly, and if I want to, I can insert it. I click on that, and it inserts English over there, over the Spanish, because
Right, so you can compare.
Yeah, I need content. That's what I need to know, right? So very, very cool. Oh, that's so amazing.
That's incredible, as we were talking about it today, right?
Yes.
So I think we cover a lot already. There is one more tool that we wanted to cover with you, and it's the Math Assistant in OneNote, and we're gonna spend some time with it. So think about our students, right? Maybe there's a student that wants to use Dictate to dictate an equation right here. We've enabled them to do that, okay? Maybe there's one that wants to type it in, right? We've enabled them to do that too, right? Because we know how to do it, right? Or you can have a kid that just wants to come and draw something in here, okay? So let's go ahead and do that, okay? So let's start with something really, really simple. I want to make sure that you understand that what it does, okay? So I'm just gonna write 2, okay? 4, 6, and maybe 8, just to start right now, okay? I could have typed this if I wanted to. I just wrote it. And notice that over here, I have the ability to use Math Assistant, okay? So I'm just gonna click on it. It's gonna tell me what to do with Math Assistant, okay? So what it wants me to do right now, because I didn't type it, is I gotta select what I chose to write. So I'm just gonna select it right now. So let me go ahead and grab it, okay? Notice that I did that, and then let me go ahead and ink it. And notice that it's going to recognize, and it took it in there, okay? And if you need to fix it, you can go ahead and fix it. It read it perfectly how I wrote it, and now I have select action, okay? And now I have many options, okay? For today, I just want to show you maybe the median. I just want to find that, okay? It's going to do that for me, okay? So it did that for me, and now I have the ability to show solution steps, okay? And notice that it's going to explain to the student how this was done. And on top of that, what do we have here, Teresa?
Immersive reader.
Immersive reader, right? So that student that needs the extra support is going to be able to click it and go there and switch it, okay? So it's just very, very easy to do. I want to show you as we do this again. Let me do one more, okay? So let's go ahead and do that again. So let me go to the bottom right here, okay? And let me add a page. And let's just go ahead in here and go ahead and just call it Math 2 just to see it. So let's go ahead and do something different, okay? So let's go ahead and now use let's do an algebra problem, okay? So let's go ahead and do 2x plus, I don't know, let's do 4 equals, and then let's do 8, okay? Just simple, okay? Okay, and now I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna use Math Assistant, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and grab it and select what I wrote. Okay, here it is, okay? And I'm gonna ink it. Okay, and what I want you to see is that I'm gonna tell it to solve it for me, okay? Solve it for x, okay? And it's gonna solve it, but check this out, okay? So now, as a teacher, I want my students to understand this type of problem, right, in math, right? I have the ability to come over here and generate a practice quiz. Just by clicking here, Math Assistant is going to know the concept, and it's going to create, it's going to say, well, sign in, obviously. So let me go ahead and sign in really quick. And it's going to say, how many questions do you want that are similar to the problem that you just did? I'm going to say just 3. It's fine. And it's going to create for me a quiz with similar problems with the ability to have immersive reader for me as I can practice this type of issues or this type of problems right here. Okay. Pretty incredible, right, Teresa? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and what did the teacher have to do?
Nothing, right?
Well, of course, teach the content.
And I was able to go in there and put that in there too, okay? And then as we continue, I can also go ahead and go back, and I can say, you know what? I want you to show me the steps of how you did this, okay? So it's going to actually explain to me how it solved that problem right here, okay? And then I can say, you know what, now I want you to read it to me. And maybe that student that might need that extra support that Teresa talked about can come in here and use that language if they need to, right? But now they have the ability to understand how the problem was solved. I believe this does all the way up to calculus. The question was about word problems, right, Teresa? Someone asked that question in here, and we're definitely going to get you an answer right now for that, okay? But I know it does all the way up to calculus last time I checked. Okay, so just think about the idea that you're able to, students are able to basically take the problem that the teacher is working in class and be able to help themselves to create problems that are similar to be able to work and practice this right there. Okay.
Yes. Oh, thank you, Janet, for asking that question. Janet, I miss you, by the way. She used to be one of my partners in my department. So anyways, yes, we'll definitely get that answer to you. Thank you for asking those wonderful questions. So Ricardo, I think that was all we wanted to share about accessibility today in OneNote. Was there anything else?
No, I don't think there was anything else. However, we did want to make sure that you knew how you can access this. Okay, so at our district, this is specific to our district. Okay, there's a couple of ways in which you can do it. Obviously, you can go through Office 365, and by going to the waffle, and let me go on this one first. It's just really slow for me. Here we go. I have the ability to go to OneNote. Okay, and I can access it that way. Okay. And over here, I can create a new notebook, and we'll talk about digital notebooks for our students in a different session, but you have the ability to create them, and all of them stay right here. So the easiest way to do it is through Office 365. We at our district are lucky enough to have Canvas as our LMS, and we have had our district actually integrate our office inside of Canvas. So you actually have the ability to create a class notebook straight from your Canvas page if you wanted to do that. Okay, so you will just come in here and you will sign in. Okay, it's going to sign me in, and it's going to tell me what do you want to do. Create a class notebook, auto remove teachers, manage notebooks. I can, and it's going to let me do able to create it with my LMS too. Okay, we've been doing a lot of reading progress and reading coach, so we've actually connected our Microsoft Teams too. So I just want to show you that I probably would have used the class notebook in high school, but I just wanted to make sure that if you do have the integration with Microsoft Teams and you basically go and open that with your students over here, let's go ahead and just use the web app instead of me opening it that way. Just wanted to show you that when you create a Microsoft Teams from Canvas, you also have the ability, when the team is created in this roster with your students, to have a, it's going to come out right now, a OneNote notebook right in here too. In the next episode, I think we'll talk about how you can use it, how you can push stuff, I can add students and so on, and you'll be able to see how amazing it is and how you can do all of this other stuff right here.
Okay. I know, Ricardo, that was a lot of steps, but if you just, he was talking at the same time and doing all of that, but all of your kids are already in there. It was so amazing. So our teachers have been like, whoa, why didn't I know about this before? So very cool. Thank you for sharing that. And yes, that is an episode of its own. So thank you, everybody. We hope that you found this useful. We know we've talked about these tools before, but talking about it in OneNote is amazing. So if you haven't tried it yet, try OneNote out and see how it can be useful for you in life and also in your class. So, and let us know what works for you. If you have any questions, please let us know. Janet, we will get back to you, we promise. And have a great week. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.